Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Gopi Jana Vallabha Giridharadhari Jaya Gopi Jana Vallabha Giridharadhari Yashodanandana Braja Jana Ranjana Yashodanandana Braja Jana Ranjana Yamuna Tira Vanachari Yamuna Tira Vanachari Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Ram Hare Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Ram Hare Hare Jai Radha Rasa Bihari Radha Rasa Bihari Radhe Jaya Jagannath Baladeva Maya Subhadra Jaya Jagannath Baladeva Maya Subhadra Radhe Govinda Jaya Radhe Govinda Radhe Govinda Jaya Radhe Radhe Jaya Gauranitai 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 Jaya Gauranitai Sita Ram Lakshman Bhakta Hanuman Jaya Sita Ram Lakshman Bhakta Hanuman Jaya Nrsimhadev Jaya Nrsimhadev Jaya Nrsimhadev Jaya Nrsimhadev Jaya Prahlad Maharaj Jaya Prahlad Maharaj Jaya Prahlad Maharaj Jaya Prahlad Maharaj Panchatattva Jaya Panchatattva Jaya Panchatattva Jaya Panchatattva Jaya Sadhu Swami Jaya Sadhu Swami Jaya Sadhu Swami Jaya Sadhu Swami Jaya Guru Parampara Jaya Guru Parampara Jaya Guru Parampara Jaya Guru Parampara Jaya Prabhupada 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 Jaya Jaya Prabhupada Jaya Jaya Prabhupada 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 Jaya Jaya Prabhupada Jaya Jaya Gurudev 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 Jaya Jaya Gurudev Jaya Jaya Gurudev 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 Jaya Jaya Gurudev. जय ओम विष्णुपाद परमहंस प्रदिकाचार्य स्तोत्र सत्य श्रीमद भक्ति स्वरूप दामोदर स्वामी श्रीपाद गुरु महाराज की जय। जय ओम विष्णुपाद परमहंस प्रदिकाचार्य स्तोत्र सत्य श्रीमद अभय चरणारविंद भक्ति वेदांत स्वामी श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय। अनंत कोटि वैष्णव वृंद की जय। नामाचार्य श्री हरिदास ठाकुर की जय। प्रेम से गौर श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवसादि गौर भक्तवृंद की जय। श्री श्री राधा कृष्ण गोप गोपीनाथ श्याम कुंड राधा कुंड गिरी गोवर्धन की जय। श्री वृंदावन धाम की जय। श्री मथुरा धाम की जय। श्री द्वारका धाम की जय। पुरुषोत्तम क्षेत्र जगन्नाथपुरी धाम की जय। गवर्नमेंट नवदीप मायापुर धाम की जय। गंगा मई यमुना मई की जय। भक्ति देवी तुलसी महारानी की जय। समवेद भक्तवृंद की जय। निताय गौर प्रमानंदे हरि हरि बोल। All glories to the assembled devotees, Hare Krishna. All glories to the assembled devotees, Hare Krishna. All glories to the assembled devotees, Hare Krishna. All glories, all glories, all glories to Sri Guru and Gauranga. All glories to Sri Guru Maharaj. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskritya Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayam Udirayet. Nashtaprayeshu Abhadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavati Uttama Shloke Bhakti Bhavati Naistiki Nigamakal Galitam Phalam Sukamukhamrutadrivyasam yutam Pibata Bhagavatam Rasamalayam Uraho Rasika Bhuvi Bhavakaha Uraho Rasika Bhuvi Bhavakaha Uraho Rasika Bhuvi Bhavakaha. Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai. Reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, 8th canto, 10th chapter, verse 39 and 40. Please repeat. Some of you can repeat. Shirobir Udduta Kirita Kundalai. Shirobir Udduta Kirita Kundalai. Drigbi Paridashradachadai. Tamramba Drigbi Paridashradachadai. Mahabhujai Sabaranai Sahayudai. Mahabhujai Sabaranai Sahayudai. Shaprastabu Kara Burobir Babau. Saprastra Ukara Borobir Babau. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Word to word meaning. Shirobi, by the heads. Udduta, separated, scattered from. Kirita, having their helmets. Kundalai, and earrings. Samramba Drigbi, eyes staring in anger, although the heads were severed from their bodies. Paridashta, having been bitten by the teeth. Tachadai, the lips. Mahabhujai, with big arms. Sa Abharanai, decorated with ornaments. Saha Ayudai, and with weapons in their hands, although the hands were severed, saw that battlefield, Rasta scattered, Buhu, the war field, Karaba Urubihi, and with thighs and legs resembling the trunks of elephants. Babau, so became. Translation. In the course of the battle, the war field became strewn with severed heads of heroes, their eyes still staring and their teeth still pressed against their lips in anger. Helmets and earrings were scattered from these severed heads. Similarly, many arms decorated with ornaments and clutching various weapons were strewn here and there, as were many legs and thighs which resemble the trunks of elephants. Text 40. Kabandastatra chotetu Kabandastatra kotetu Chotetu. Okay. Kabandastatra chotetu Patitasvasirokshibihi Udyatayuda Dordande Adavanto Batan Hrude Kabandastatra chotetu Patitasvasiro Akshibihi Udyatayuda Dordande Adavanto Batan Hrude. Word to word meaning? Kabandaha, trunks. Trunks, bodies without heads. Tatra, there, on the battlefield. Sha, also. Utpetuhu, generated. Patita, fallen. Swashiraha, akshibihi, by the eyes in one's hand. Udyata, raise. Ayuda, equipped with weapon. Dandadai, the arms of whom? Adavan, Adavantaha, rushing toward. Patan, the soldiers. Mrude, on the battlefield. Translation. Many headless trunks were generated on that battlefield. With weapons in their arms, those ghostly trunks, which could see the eyes in the fallen heads, see with the eyes in the fallen heads, attack the enemy soldiers. But it appears that the heroes who died on the battlefield immediately became ghosts. And although their heads had been severed from their bodies, new trunks were generated. And these new trunks, seeing with the eyes in the severed heads, began to attack the enemy. In these words, many ghosts were generated to join the fight, and thus new trunks appeared in the battlefield. Om Jnana Timirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Preshtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Swarupa Damodara Swami Dinamine Namasat Bhaktamanaye Manipurudvavayacha Prabhupada Sadvani Prachara Niratayate Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Preshtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swami Dinamine Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Sunnavadi Paschatya Desatarini Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda, Sri Advaita Gadadhara, Srivasadi Gaura Bhaktivinoda. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna to all the assembled Vaishnavas, Vaishnavis, Maharajas. On behalf of Bhaktivedanta Institute, I welcome you all to this ongoing discussion on Srimad Bhagavatam. And today's verse is 8th canto, 10th chapter, verse 39 and 40. Shirovi Uddita Kirita Kundalai, Samramba Dragvi Paridashta Dachadai, Mahabhujai, Sa Avaranai, Sa Ayudai, Sa Rastra Bhu, Arabaudihi Babu. So, we have been hearing how the battle against started between the demons and demigods after Mohini Murti, Supreme Personality of Godhead, had distributed the nectar to the demigods, and he went back to his abode. And out of anger, the demons again started a fight with the demigods. Now, this fight is out of frustration that they could not get the nectar. And now, after getting the nectar, the demigods have become more stronger. But even then, out of desperation, using all their powers, the demons are fighting. They started fighting. And in today's sloka, the war field is described. The whole scene on the war field. Earlier in the previous sloka was also the scene was described, wherein how the dust that was created because of the movement of the troops from both sides, enemies, both sides, covered all the directions and also the outer space, and it touched the sun planet. So Prabhupada explains in this purport in the previous verse how the sun planet is closer to the earthly planet compared to the moon. He brings a scientific perspective to the whole scene. Sorry. Am I audible? Can someone respond?
Yes, Prabhuji.
Okay. Just wanted to know. Thank you, Harix. So, Srila Prabhupada brought a scientific perspective to this war scene, the arena, what is happening in the war field in the previous shloka. And today's shloka, it is explained how the bodies of both sides are strewn around, for the battlefield, with somebody's hands cut, somebody's legs cut, both the legs cut, only torso moving, and the head severed, only the body moving, with all the weapons in their hands. Still they are trying to fight with the enemies, particularly the demons. This side is described on the demon side, how they used all their mystical power, the magical power they had, how they used it to pounce on the demigods. It's also described here that the bodies were headless and the heads were somewhere else, with the eyes protruding out, showing different expressions. Sometimes, I don't know how many of you could get to see this accidents places on the roads. Sometimes the last expression, when that person, before he met with the accident, whatever expression he had in his face, that expression remains even after his death. Shocked, surprised, or completely crying, whatever it is, you all can imagine, because that is what very important. This scene is very, very important for us devotees to know. Sometimes when you go to somebody's death, you see that person is very calm and serene as if he is in sleep, and somebody is really smiling. The body is really smiling. You can see a smile on their face, even after death. So how is it possible? So that is where the consciousness of the person comes into picture. It's very, very important for all of us devotees to know this. The importance of the consciousness that one has to have at the time of death. Yam yam vapi sparan bhavam tajaktante kalaviram tam tam yevaiti kaunteya sada sadbhava bhavitaha. So, whatever state of mind one is in at the time of death, he will attain that state after death also. So, it is very important for us to know this, understand this, and prepare for this inevitable incident, that is event in our life. Nobody can say that I am not going to be in that stage. All of us are going to be in that stage, whether we like it or not. And when, we do not know. Parikshit Maharaj was very fortunate to know that he is going to die after 7 days. But none of us know after how many days, how many minutes, how many seconds we are going to die, or how many years we are going to die, in what circumstances we are going to die. Whether it is going to be a normal death or it is going to be an untimely death. What happens if it is an untimely death? It looks like here from this verse, as Prabhupada writes in the second verse, that they immediately become ghosts. It appears that the heroes who died in the battlefield immediately became ghosts. So whenever an untimely death happens, somebody, it looks like they become the ghosts because they have to complete their tenure. So it is not a good thing to have that untimely death. That's why suicide is also condemned. That's why killing of animals is also condemned. Then this poor soul has to spend the remaining part of its located life in some form or the other, which is not suitable for the spirit soul. So as far as our philosophy is concerned, yes, ghosts do exist. So the subtle body, they move around in the subtle body. they try to enter into some gross body. And some of them succeed also. And it looks like here, that is what is happening, that the subtle body acts through the severed heads. They are using the heads of the dead bodies, eyes of the dead bodies, so-called dead bodies. And those eyes are used to see where the enemies are. And the torso, trunk is just running with all the weapons in the hands and rushing to attack the enemies. So the whole scenario, if you just imagine, it's very ghastly. But what is that we as devotees have to learn from this is that we have to pray to the Supreme Personality of Godhead. We have to pray to our spiritual master to always keep us engaged in a service, always keep us in the spiritual consciousness. It is very, very important for all of us to be always under the protection of the spiritual energy. Otherwise, what happens is, the moment you move little bit or give way little bit, also, then immediately the material energy takes over. And what the material energy can do anything. We can't imagine. None of the science can tell what can happen to a person. When a person goes to the hospital, he goes with some pain, but when he lands up with the doctor, he says, no, he's having some other problem. He goes for stomach problem, he ends up in getting a heart operated. He goes for heart problem, he gets up in getting his, liver issues or, pancreatic issues. We really do not know how the whole system functions. Even the science is not fully aware how complex is our body, how coordinated, cooperative our body is, how the systems are functioning so beautifully. What kind of defense mechanisms are there in our body? And when that defense mechanism comes into picture, I was reading the other day, whenever there is a sugar, when your sugar goes low, below the required level in your body, the liver comes into picture. It produces a hormone. That hormone will try to balance the sugar levels in the blood. But that hormone is not, if it remains in the blood, it's not good for the body. Okay. So, who was designed such a defense mechanism? Who was designed at such, backup systems? It's so beautiful, so wonderful. So, whenever there is imbalance in the body itself tries to make a balance by doing certain activities, by producing certain enzymes and hormones, and it cannot happen on its own. Somebody must have designed very intricately, very minutely. So this must have been designed by somebody, right? The intelligent designer, right? So who is that intelligent designer? One has to inquire as scientists. We all have to inquire that. So, but unfortunately, the current understanding or the current science, the contemporary science, doesn't focus on exploring these aspects. It focuses more on studying human body in parts. Earlier, we used to have only one doctor one physician. You go to him, whether you have ear problem, head problem, leg problem, stomach problem, you go to him, he will give you some medicine, you will get cured. Now, in heart only, there used to be cardiac surgeon, then orthopedic surgeon, eye specialist. Few disciplines were there. If you go now only for heart only, you have at least maybe 10-20 specialization. Eyes only. Now doctors, dental doctor. If you don't get in normal MBBS, then you go to become a dentist. But now in the dental space only, you have so many orthodontists, I don't know what not. So it is they're choosing the smallest area and focusing only on that one, and how it interacts with the other system, they are not bothered only. So when you go to a cardiologist, so he only sees your heart. If anything that is related to other organs, then you are sent to that specialist. Now specialization after specialization after specialization. So you have to visit at least 10, 20 doctors. I don't know, when you go to the hospital, there will be a battery of doctors visiting you, starting with a dietitian, cardiologist, pulmonologist. Pulmonologist, nobody knew. Till this corona started, nobody knew there is someone called pulmonologist. And most of us, But now they become so important, so famous now. They become like, this Dolo 650, right? Dolo 650 suddenly manifested during COVID. So the pulmonologist also manifested during COVID. Now, any patient going to think, definitely a pulmonologist will come and visit. Anyhow, so what I'm trying to say is, our body is so beautifully, wonderfully designed, and they are cooperatively coordinated so beautifully. And one needs to understand how it functions. And one needs to know what is the force behind this complete organization. Who is the head? Who's running this organization? So as a scientist from BI, we all have to focus in these lines and then present it to the common public, how these things are actually functioning based on our scriptural evidence. And that is the truth. Whether science accepts today or not, one day it will accept. Okay. Our body is so beautifully designed by the intelligent designer. So we need to understand our body and maintain our body, engage our body in serving the Supreme Personality of Godhead and its representatives. If we don't do that, what will happen is, at the time of death, like what we see here, our consciousness will be completely deteriorated. We do not know what state of mind we will be in. It is very, very important for us. This shloka is very, very important. Yam yam vapi smaran bhavam tajektanti kalevaram tam tam yevaiti kaunteya sda tad bhava bhavitaha. So, if you have to attain a state of mind that is favorable for our progress in our spiritual life, even in the next body also, then we have to remember Krishna. We have to remember the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Then only, even if we get another body after our death, we will get a suitable body to further continue from there. But we do not want to get another body, then we have to do a lot. Rupa says you can get out of this cycle of birth and death in this lifetime itself. So we have to endeavor for such an opportunity that is provided by this body. So we should not misuse this body, and we should not become kripana. Krishna says, second chapter, Kutastva kasmalam idam vishame samupastitam anaridistam asabyam akirtikaram arjuna karpanya dosa pahatasya bhava. So we should not become kripanas and miserly use this body. We have to use this wonderfully. This body provides a lot of facility for us to attain that supreme consciousness or the pure consciousness, Shuddha Sattva, attaining which we can come out of this material world, which will enable us to engage in devotional service of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, which is our constitutional position. So that is the reason our acharyas have given this process. Our scriptures have given this process of chanting the holy name of the Lord, the process that is meant for Kali Yuga, to have that consciousness that at the time of death, you will be situated in the right consciousness. How many of us will be able to remember Krishna at the time of death? Can we be 100% sure that we'll be able to remember Krishna, or we will be like this, heads rolling on the ground with shocked and surprised eyes? We really do not know. Eyes still staring and their teeth still pressed against their lip in anger. Kama, Krodha, Mada, Moha, Matsarya, Bhaya. So with all these expressions, we may leave our body. It is scary actually. Very, very scary. When death comes, when you can see the death, how we are going to face, how we are going to behave or act at that time, that matters a lot, and we have to prepare ourselves throughout our life for that day. Human life is to prepare ourselves for that death, that day. You have to prepare. So what happens after that death, that day, that is more important than what we are doing in this life. So whatever activities we do, we should prepare ourselves for that event, the inevitable event. I heard that Sripad Guru Maharaj told one of his disciples, he asked, his name was Devarshi Prabhu. Devarshi, what is your age? I am 50, Maharaj. Okay, prepare for your death. Directly. So one has to prepare for one's death. It can come in at any time, in any form. Preparing ourselves for the death is very, very important. It's not in the negative sense, it's a very, very positive thing. Death is nothing but vasanchi jirnani yata vihaya navani granati naroparani. So, as one gives up the old clothes and gets on to the new clothes, this death is nothing but change of body. giving up the old body and taking a new body. But that new body should enable us further to progress in Krishna consciousness, because our journey is journey back home, back to Godhead. Our journey is a journey towards Krishna. Our journey is a journey towards engaging in our eternal constitutional service. That is our journey. So, we have to reach our destination very safely. There is a danger in human form of life to fall down into the lower regions of existence, lower planetary systems, fall down in our consciousness, lower species of life. Again, you have to rise by doing these 4 activities. Eating, sleeping, and depending. Just by doing these 4 activities, you progress in the species. No. But there is a danger, great danger in the human form of life, that you may fall down in your consciousness. Whatever consciousness we are in, at least let us maintain it. Let us not degrade from that consciousness. Otherwise, we'll be moving around like this, torsos, the trunks, in a totally unsuitable, ghastly bodies. We don't want to be these demons. Now, why are they still fighting? You see, because of the material desire. They all represent all of us. We all have these material desires, and we are ready to go to any extent to fulfill our material desires. But that will only bring inauspiciousness to us. That will only bring degradation, not progression. We will degrade in our consciousness. So it's very important for all of us to take this point a little seriously and take up this process very seriously. There will be so many disturbances happening around us. When we go to university, the purpose of joining the university with clearing so many exams, IITians clearing JEE, doctors clearing NEET, giving up your youth, the crucial time in your life, and coming to that university, it is to get that degree. But if you once you enter the university, there are so many things that's happening around you, disturbing things, which will make you deviate from your goal of getting that degree and coming out of the university. There will be so many disturbing factors. But one has to be intelligent enough to know his goal of joining this. The tapasya I underwent, austerity I underwent to join this university and focus on that goal. You cannot completely close your eyes and ears and and move around. But one has to be dhira, intelligent, smart, unaffected by these things. You can see, but don't get disturbed. You can hear, but don't get disturbed. Don't get involved in this. Similarly, in the university of our life, the goal is to get out of this material world, to revive our eternal relationship with Krishna as a servant of the Supreme Lord, which we have forgotten and fallen into this material world, we have to keep that goal in our mind. How can I get back to my original constitutional position? What should I do? So the process is given very simple, chanting the holy name of the Lord. Golokera Premadana Harinama Sankirtan. So take up this Sankirtan very seriously. This VI Sankirtan is very special. You get special offers from VI Sankirtan. Because it's very dear to Srila Prabhupada. It is very dear to Srila Sripad. And it is very dear to Srila Prabhupada. It is very dear to the Bhaktivedanta Saraswati Goswami Maharaj. It is very dear to Bhaktivedanta Thakur. So, being a part of this VI mission, we are all special in some way. So, let us make use of this opportunity and please the Acharyas. That's all we need to do. Rest all they'll take care. We need not have to really worry. Just serve the Acharyas. Serve the spiritual master. The service is Sankirtan. The Acharya says, do this, just do it. So that is our Sankirtan. That is our, way to go back home, back to Godhead, and get back to into our eternal position of serving the Lord, sincere devotees. Srimati Radharani, her servants, Gopi Bhattur Padakamalayur Dasa Dasa Dasanudasa. To get into that Dasa Dasa Dasanudasa position, you have to have very hard, work very hard. At least spare 2 hours in a day. Out of 24 hours, it's 8% of your time maybe. So that 8% if you give, then the rest all is taken care of. Okay. So we all know the process that is given is Sankirtan, chanting the holy name of the Lord. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. So let us take up this process very seriously, chanting the holy name of the Lord, serving the pure devotee, and honoring wonderful, nice Mahaprasad. Hare Krishna. I stop here. If you have any questions or comments, we can discuss. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu. Thank you for this nice and wonderful class, and thank you for taking the class.
Gandhra Srimad Bhagavatam ki
Jai.
Srila Prabhupada ki
Jai.
Srila Gurudev ki
Jai.
Jai Bhaktivedanta ki
Jai.
Jai Gaur Pramanande. Hari Hari Bol.
His Grace Mother Krishna Prabhu ki Jai. Thank you all for joining.
Maharaj ki Jai.